almost every time when I get into these grooves, when I'm doing dips or pull-ups, it's almost every single time that I think about, what are some prime examples of people getting really good physiques from doing this? And the first thing that always pops into my mind is the guys in prison. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, whether you've thought about this, but why are those guys so jacked? A lot of these guys don't even have access to equipment. So they're basically, push-ups, pull-ups. They do all sorts of different things with each other. I think they do squats with guys sitting on, each other's backs and whatever. What are they doing? Why do they look so different to the guys in the free world, let's say? I think the biggest difference between them and us is volume. They have a lot of time to themselves. They spend a lot of time in their cell. So they can do a lot of volume. I don't know how many times I've heard guys talking about that 1,000 push-ups in a day is not even a big deal anymore. That's kind of what you do. And if you think about it, how many hours would they sleep? 5-6 hours? I don't see them sleeping any more hours because, I don't know, but it feels like a lot of these guys are sitting in their beds, laying in their beds, reading books or whatever they're doing. They're not really doing anything strenuous. They're not, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Okay, let's say they sleep 8 hours every single night. What's left? 16 hours to do what? Train. Imagine if you spread out your whole training schedule for the day, over 16 hours. Imagine how much work you could do. And then all of a sudden, all of these guys who are talking about overtraining or whatever, I don't think overtraining is a thing. There is, overtraining for your level. I get that. Like if I was to do 1,000 pull-ups, I'd be dead. That's overtraining. But in terms of what your physiological limit is, if you just continuously keep loading, progressing linearly, step loading, whatever the hell you want to do, the limits are very, very high. The body is a master at adapting. And when I think about all these reps that they do, 1,000 push-ups, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pull-ups a day, if you think to yourself, for the body to be able to go through that type of work, there needs to be storage, local storage at these tissue sites for the muscle to be able to go through that type of work. So I'm thinking about glycogen stores. I'm thinking about all sorts of these, like fluid retention, like sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. That's what this is, man. Like if you're doing 1,000 reps of anything, man, I don't know, man. It seems like these guys are very, very strong. Makes me think that us in the free world are severely undertrained. And it's us out here talking about overtraining. It's almost embarrassing. Okay, you can squat this, you can bench this, but how many push-ups can you do? How many pull-ups can you do? Nobody can tell me that doing pull-ups and push-ups are going to take away somehow from what you're doing with the powerlifting or whatever you're doing. If you're a general athlete like me, in a freaking, shed in a garage doing your thing, why aren't we going back to basics? Are you looking better than some of these guys locked up? These thoughts come to my mind all the time. Now, some of you guys may have some explanations why this is the case, why these guys are so jacked. Psychologically, I think they're in danger every single day. Depends where you are, but, when you're living with these, I don't know, let's call them alpha males, guys who are very prone to assaults, very prone to murder. Like these guys, they've been studied. CT brain, studies have been done on these people. Some of these guys have different brain structures, serial killers and whatnot. So these guys have different brain structures. A lot of these guys are very high explosives, high testosterone. And then you put them in an environment without a high testosterone guy. So all of a sudden you have an environment that is very toxic, very competitive, and that further increases the testosterone. It's just animal kingdom type stuff. So the psychological, the social implications to these guys, so that maybe they wrote it up naturally from being in a competitive environment. Whereas think about what I'm doing. I'm a nurse, man. When is my life threatened? I'm comfortable, 2 kids, wife, mortgage. I never feel like I might die. Do you know what I mean? I'm never threatened. But if you have these thoughts on a daily basis, if you're in war, if you're in situations where this might be it, man, I can't imagine that body not reacting hormonally to survive that type of environment. You're sleeping in silk sheets. That shit can't be good for your hormonal profile, sleeping on the concrete floor. You know, these types of things always ring in my mind. Like, why are these guys so jacked? Because they are never freaking comfortable. That's one thing. They're threatened. That's another thing. And they have a lot of time on their hands to do this stupid amount of sets and reps and get through so much freaking work in that day. It belittles some of this stuff that I do. Oh, you squat every day. Man, I don't do anything every day, man. This is a joke, what people do out there. That's kind of how I think. That's how my brain kind of operates. Anyway, gotta do more work, gotta get more work done. Simple as that, you know. Just compare yourself to some of these guys. Makes me think, who is actually locked up over here? The free guys? Or the guys who are actually in prison? These guys in prison seem to have more time than us. Obviously, it's not that linear. There's more to talk about when it comes to that. But at least training perspective, they have more time. They dedicate more time to training. Anyway, guys, appreciate all of you guys. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.